Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ClassicWhoZone. We're here for the web planet. Yeah, had a bit of a boomer moment there. Didn't realise I'd actually set it for 6:30 instead of 6:45. I was there listening to music, and then notification came up. I was like, I'm supposed to stream now. So I'm here. How is everybody? I hope everybody is doing well. I'm just looking for this episode now. I know it's here somewhere. So we'll bring on our guests while I'm looking for this. So our first guest joining us tonight is the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, I'm also typing, trying to find it.
Oh, could you not find it on that site? No.
Well, no, I've weirdly the other site I can find it quicker, so I'm doing that for tonight because I
Yeah,
struggled. They should order that, shouldn't they? So it actually makes sense. The one we use,
I
it'd make
know.
life
They
so
used
much
to have
more
it in
easier.
order, but it's something's happened to it, so I don't know what the used to be in order. But yeah, I'm still looking for it here. I'll find
It's
it anyway.
yeah, I
Isn't
struggled. I had to really search through.
hold on, is that it? No,
Right,
no.
let me mute this really quick.
We'll find it. Hold on, we'll bring on our next guest. It's the one and only Super Doctor, real Super Doctor. How
Hey
are you?
Noel, how you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad.
See the number I posted in the private chat there? That's the number where the episode is.
Let's see. All right, so there we go.
Oh, is that down the list? That number then you've just got?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. I thought it was a bit of a search for me today. I was
Right,
like,
but that's only part one.
yeah, they're not all called the Web Planet. No, look at you
Oh,
need. They've got
They're
different titles.
they've got different titles. The
I
Web
forgot
Planet's
with
episode 1.
yeah, I forgot with Doctor Who. It's with the
Oh,
classic.
Yeah.
Williams run. They didn't. They sort of had a title for each episode, didn't they? So it's awkward sometimes.
Oh, it started straight away. Wow, that's shallow. Okay, well that's good news. There we go. Okay. Well, I've sent. I know Lee is not streaming, so because he told everybody on Twitter that he wasn't streaming. Um, and I sent Alpha Omega an email, but I don't know if he's working. So it looks like it might be just the three of us this week. So I'm kind of thinking I might do these every second week now because people are kind of losing interest. I've noticed. All of the recent events has turned people off, you know, which is kind of understandable to a certain extent. But yeah, that's where we are right now at the moment. So yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. That's all I'll say. What
It's
can you
like
do?
the BBC doesn't want us to discuss Doctor Who, or even people that's making fan videos and that. They don't want
Yeah,
that.
Oh yeah.
I seen that. I will be doing a video on that. So I've seen the carry on that's been going
I
on.
find the timing for that very interesting. Is all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say. The timing
yeah.
of it is very
Well, I
interesting.
said it out straight. It's quite simple. The problem is that BBC have is the fanfic is better than what Chris Chibnall's writing, and
Yeah,
they
I
can't.
think
Yeah.
that's what it is. I think they're purely doing it out of God. Fans have got so fed up they're doing their own stuff now and it's outshining us.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, I'll have a video on that one. Interesting, you know. So
I mean, even a 5-year-old can make the Doctor Who title sequence in a kind of like in Blender or Adobe Flash. I mean, they can put that up in next to no time.
I know. Yeah, it's very interesting though. I have to be
Yeah.
honest. Hey, everybody in the chat, please get your copies ready. We got 9 people watching. I say that's the best we're gonna do tonight. But give the video a like if you don't mind, the stream a like. If you're already in the chat, please press 1. I reckon we're already on the panel, yeah?
Yeah, I just need to press play for when we do go.
Right, well, hold on. I'll just put my earphones in. Oh, I'm an idiot. Hold on. What did I do? There we go. I think it's sorted. Oh, don't tell me I have to search it all again. I do.
Well,
You.
the number will still be in a private chat that Super John.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Can't believe I did that. What an idiot. What an idiot.
I had a wee bit of trouble trying to find it, but I found it.
There we
I
go.
think it's because it's not in the order we like, you know.
No, it used to be. That's why I'm actually annoyed because when I used to use it, that's what I said. I used to tell you it was all in order, but for some weird reason,
Maybe they've done it to protect themselves. You never know.
Yeah.
could be.
Or unless what they've done is they've re-uploaded it very quickly.
Oh, now it's taken its time. It flew in the first time.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say if you have to push, there is the other site, and I found basically the whole episode without adverts. Somebody's basically uploaded it, so if you need to, I'll push.
Right. Well, I think I have it now. I just need to. What am I doing? I'm going about this the wrong way, am I?
See, I
No.
think the best thing is to do is let it play, and then pause it, and then bring it back to the beginning. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
loaded
what
a
I do.
little bit. So it gives it enough time to kind of go through the whole episode. Because I think the internet's bad at the moment.
Yeah, that's weird. For some weird reason, I think everybody's internet is bad,
Yeah.
which is peculiar, which suggests there's something going on. Right, well, I'm ready.
Lee, we've not started yet, mate. We're just Noel's just getting
I'm
it
ready
sorted on
now.
his end.
I didn't send you an email because it's obviously you told everybody you weren't streaming. If you've changed your mind, you're more than welcome on. If not, we know the chat will be we'll keep in order now. But I'm ready to go now anyway. So we'll give Lee a couple of seconds to
Yeah, I was
see.
gonna say, give him a minute and see.
Hold on, I need to find it. What are you coming on?
This is so Lee, he does.
I know. Oh, for feck's sake! Why did you even make an announcement in the first place, man? Just cop onto yourself and come on. It's Classic Who anyway. You don't need to be stop watching Classic Who.
That's what I'm gonna say, Lee. If you want to just have a break from just streams talking about rubbish, that is completely understandable.
That's it, man. Just come on and do Classic Who. You won't be talking rubbish. We won't highlight Anne. We'll just talk.
Just keep to the episode.
That's it. And we've been doing that the last few weeks.
We've been good.
Been good, yeah. So, right, email is sent to you now. He always has to make an entrance anyway, doesn't he?
Well, it wouldn't be Lee if he didn't.
Yeah, Classic Who. How can I not?
You know what? I can't wait till we do the TV movie at some point because I quite like the TV movie.
Yeah, we will get on to the TV movie because I did say we'd hang out and wait to watch them again.
Yeah.
But I think we'll do it in the next few weeks just to take a break. I think when we get to Patrick Troughton, I think we'll take a break, do the Paul McGann movie, then go back then and do Pertwee then. Maybe. Right. We're just waiting on his lordship. He should be here any second now.
Our undercover troopers already called him out.
Drama queen. Oh, yeah. Please hit that like button. Well, it'll give people that have come in late a little bit of time. It's the web planet. So, we're about to start part 1.
And I'm got to admit, I struggled with this. It's one of, I think that I'm starting to quite like the longer format for Classic, but if it's a story I'm not getting, it is a bit Not gonna lie. When I'm like,
it is a
the
wee bit
6
kind of
episodes of this.
complicated. It is a wee bit kind of complicated at the beginning because sometimes Hartnell's performances in this become very silly, and then it becomes very serious towards the middle of it and the end of it. You know, it starts to kind of pick up.
No, I think what it is, because I was thinking about it, because I was like, I'm just not getting this one, and I honestly think it's because the villains, they're not really much of a presence, because obviously what they are, and you do have like the main queen figure, but she doesn't really talk a lot, so it's a bit just. I think that's what got me struggling today. I was just a bit.
Now go on, finish your point,
No,
please.
I think it's because I need I think I've worked it out. I think I need a bit more of an opposing force, so I just get a bit.
Well, you're gonna watch it again, so you might pick up on stuff that, or maybe it's just one of those stories. It is kind of a weird story, but there you go. Let's do it anyway. Here is the drama queen himself. It's the one and only Problem being.
Yeah. I can't. Look. Classic Who is everything. If I'm not here, some other fucker's gonna take my place, and it would be just wrong. So
that's it.
I have to make my compromises where they are. So hands off my Who. Hands off my Classic Who.
Right. Well.
So we've got you back for Classic Who.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as we stick to Classic Who, I'm more than
I couldn't understand the decision. I could understand you not doing other streams where they're talking about crap, but I just couldn't understand you not doing Classic Who.
No, I was not in the best frame of mind.
I know nobody is, and I can see, and I know where you're coming from. Seriously, I actually do. It is kind of gut wrenching what's going on. But listen, we said we wouldn't talk about that. We don't bring the mood down. Let's start this. So
sticking to the good things.
What? Yeah.
Sticking
let's
to
take the happy things, right? Yes. We're gonna be watching bees now in a minute. Stupid bee costumes. Let's do it anyway. Everybody in the chat. What?
They're actually ants.
Ants, as well. I'm getting mixed up, getting confused.
Woodlice.
Don't tread on an ant, he's done nothing to you. There may come a day when he's treading on you.
Right, everybody presses one. When I see a lot of ones, Charlie, you just do the countdown.
Yeah, I've got it up so I can see now.
So the actors to the bishop.
Doctor number one, the original. Number one.
So Bill's always going to be the original.
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
Hashtag
please press one in the chat. Oh, there we go. We got a lot of them there.
I can't. Yeah, they all pop up at once. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Here we go.
I love they're still wearing the Roman stuff.
Yeah. It's a little bit. I've not watched the Romans yet, so this is a bit like, I'm coming off obviously an episode that I haven't watched yet.
Absolutely love the Romans. I think it's one of the good episodes. It's got humour in it as well, and it's very light-hearted.
The Web Planet.
Now, I remember Verity Lambert saying that they had next to no budget and they were literally shooting on drapes for this episode.
I love the music.
Yeah. It's just going to make that comment.
You can see that wall's kind of photograph, kind of painted.
Painted wood or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when it's black and white, it disguises sins, doesn't it, a bit?
Oh, yeah. It disguises a multitude. You could easily fall asleep to that TARDIS sound, can't you?
Yeah, the humming.
Yeah, it's like a they call it, binaural.
Yeah.
Bit of ASMR.
I think the Peter Davison one is like a kind of binaural beat.
Yeah, it definitely has that feel about it.
Yeah.
I think it has calming effects.
So it always does impress me in Classic how you can tell, like, obviously they didn't have any levels for inside the TARDIS, and it was very much a one set deal. But they managed to put nice little, like, things in corners and little things to give it almost sections, even though it's an open space.
Yeah. Well, it was actually an entire studio floor, and they had to kind of reuse that studio floor after they had for another TV series after they had done shooting Doctor Who, and then they had to put all the stuff back into storage for the next episode. So it means that the walls and that if they went into storage for a long time, and the damp storage, well, that was I think that was the Lime Grove Studios. That was. And they were quite old, and they could have been water leaking in, and some of the props get ruined.
See,
Yeah, I think later in the 70s and 80s they shared the studio with Blue Peter, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, it was interesting not to have Susan here for me because I'm so used to now with Barbara, Ian, and Susan, and it's like, oh, they've got like a replacement Susan almost in this episode.
I rather like Vicky with Peter Purvis's character,
Steve Jackson.
Stephen Taylor. I think that works quite well.
Yeah, sorry.
Stephen Taylor.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, don't know where I got Steve Jackson.
Oh, that is a bit into it. Like the ants, I sort of go, okay, I get it. It's obviously ants, but
you can see the TARDIS here is very kind of poor. It's just like a kind of early colour separation overlay.
Hmm.
And it's so funny, these ant things keep bumping into the cameras as well, as you'll notice.
It must be really difficult to see through all that.
So what is it supposed to be, Super Doctor? That is the ant.
Well, they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be mutated creatures, and they became the Zarbi, and the Menoptera were the other mutated ones, and they had they developed on the planet. The planet was full of acid pills and all that, and things that kind of mutated in the life on the planet. So it's like they're powerful telepathic beings as well.
Yeah.
I love the Menoptera design.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh yeah, it's funny because like the ants and everything else look a bit cheap, but if you actually look at the Menoptera, like if you look at the wings, I think they're quite impressive. I was actually like, oh well, okay, I like this design.
Yeah.
Martin Jarvis was a Menoptera.
I'd like to see them back one day.
Well, not in the current era of Doctor Who.
No.
But, if they came back, say like for Big Finish, like a Big Finish story or something like that, and
but they are
more explored.
I don't know if they'd work on audio though. They're a little bit pantomimey, the voices, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's why like on sometimes I've said this before on audio, like sometimes I love the Cybermen, but other times it's so hard to listen to them when they do Cybermen on Big Finish.
Yeah.
They're just really like high pitched. Sometimes Nick sort of does them.
I find this ridiculous coming up here. Hartnell has got a hat, like his Astrakhan hat, and it's just as white as the rest of his costume. And I always kind of laughed at that.
Well, sort of. Bill sort of, he's got such an impish laugh, hasn't he? And I don't think I noticed that until this story. Like, he properly sounds like a little imp, just sort of like cackling away to himself, because he does quite a bit of that at the beginning of this.
Mm.
He seems to have developed it halfway in. Like because he was feeling the character and because he was trying to. Probably they were wanting him to kind of enhance his character a wee bit slightly with kind of wee bits here and there.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a proper little like it sort of made me giggle just because I didn't notice it before, and I was like, "Oh, Bill, I quite like that now that he has it."
It's like he knows exactly what's going on and nobody else knows what's going on, so he puts on that silly wee laugh just to know that he's one jump ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of I think the Doctor has sort of sometimes can dip into being that sort of almost fairy tale mythical figure.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, that's what made me think like imp, like that sort of thing of. Like, okay, love, I'm just going to knock you out with this sedative. Just casually do this.
Drug pusher.
Well, they just make me laugh at also another thing. The doctor's like, oh, just give her this sedative. It's like, okay. But then he's quite caring later on with her.
Boom! You can't blame my generation for everything, right there.
Good old Barbara.
Good old Barbs.
Nursery school.
Oh, I love the line she has. Is it like in a bit when she goes, well, you should take them in case I start singing and like painting my face. I was like, I love that line from her. Because she has such a good wit, Barbara, when they write her.
Well, according to Vicky, she was very far in the future, and because that she's got a different kind of knowledge to what Barbara has and the Doctor has, and these pills are completely primitive to the likes of her. And it's like the reference to the Beatles and the Chase. She refers it as classical music.
Yeah. No enigmatic joker. They're not ecstasy.
Oh God, imagine. No, maybe if this was a Troughton episode. Those beds also, to be fair, make me think of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Very much so, like the sick bay in the original series.
Well, basically, the TARDIS was like a kind of. It was actually supposed to be a kind of hospital ship, if you were, for Time Lords and that, and going exploring the universes and that. And the TARDIS itself was not piloted by one
6
person.
people. Mm.
There was about 6 people all around it, I suppose. I read that in, I think, the Doctor Who technical manual.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
because
meant to be piloted by 6. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that's how they've explained. Let's say in the later series, his driving skills, haven't they? They said, well, he's trying to drive a TARDIS, which is meant to have 6 people. That's why
Yeah.
it never sort of lands where it's supposed to, and he looks like he's breaking it half the time.
But that's also part of his genius, you know, the fact that he. I think that's general for most renegades. You know, they're very smart and very curious, so that's why they want to explore. You know, I think that's intrinsic to the characters of renegade Time Lords.
Oh, that just looks like ooh, yes. Oh, he's so animated in this.
We're being watched.
And you can tell, like, you were getting at. He was properly like enjoying the role at this point, Bill. He was
Yeah.
properly like, I'm this character and I'm loving it.
He must have been really disappointed, being told that they didn't want him anymore and they were looking for somebody else.
Mm.
You know that he was the Doctor, and he was he was that kind of superhero to all. You know.
Imagine if they'd recast him as, you know, with someone else with the same wig, the same costumes, the same character. It would have been a completely different history, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The show probably wouldn't have lasted as long as it has if it had tried to replace him in the same vein as Hartnell's character.
Well, who obviously, can regeneration sort of be given to one person as an idea, as a concept, or was it like multiple people that came up with the concept of regeneration?
Well, it was renewal, wasn't it? So I mean, regeneration wasn't even considered until Pertwee.
It was actually they went back to Sidney Newman and asked him what he would want to do to extend the character of the Doctor, and he came up with a renewal process. But they never called it regeneration; they just called it a kind of renewal. Like the TARDIS.
Well, it's renewal for Hartnell, and then when it came to Troughton's time, it was, you know, changing his face. Yeah. It was only when Pertwee regenerated into Tom Baker that.
Well, that's the thing. Like in Troughton's run, you can tell that they're still settling, aren't they?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. They're kind of building.
Yeah, they're building. They've sort of they're a bit more comfortable. They know that they're good. They're a bit safer. So now they can actually start building on the mythos and getting a mythos sort of the foundations of it anyway.
Exactly, and this is the thing about canon that a lot of people don't seem to understand these days. Is that, you know, in the classic era, of course, there are many paradoxes and flaws within the canon, but you know, they were busy making it, you know, and it was transmitted weekly on a regular basis, and the fact that, you know, there wasn't any home media like video to remember all these stories that contradicted each other.
So a writer would just write the story, and then afterwards would probably, after the broadcast, they might have gone, oh, okay, I've accidentally done a...
Yeah. And I think that's why you have the classic era as it is, and that's why I don't think the current era should try to address these things and try and retcon and destroy canon, and then use the excuse, well, canon was always flimsy and Doctor, you know, it's a different era. You can't do that, you know. It's so disingenuous, I think.
Yeah, and also you've just got the fact that there was nothing like Doctor Who. Even that, like I've always said, this is such a unique concept. And if you think, especially in the 60s, when Bill and Troughton would have been doing their runs, it's not like there was another British show that they could sort of look at and try and help model them almost. It was no, we're one of a kind. Nobody's doing a alien that can go in space and time with a police shaped ship.
And
Like-
the great thing about it as well is that you had a lead character who wasn't a romantic lead.
No.
With the female cast, and I think that was one of its successful attributes that separated it from all other TV programs where that was the sort of the norm. And I think they really should kind of stick with that. And I kind of don't understand this fascination with the Doctor's sexuality and all this kind of stuff. It's irrelevant. It should always.
I don't
irrelevant.
think that is relevant in the show. I mean, all it is about adventures in space and time and having fun and basically exploring, understanding each other and helping each other. And it's like every Doctor Who episode. In the episode, it's like a fight to survival, and then at the end of the episode, they want to get back to the TARDIS, and then the next episode, it will be the next adventure.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it's kind of sad, really, that modern day audiences are sort of obsessed with wanting yet another soap opera. It's just like you've got plenty of soap operas if you want that kind of stuff.
You can have wee sections of soap in the episode, but don't overwhelm the episode. You have to keep the humour. You have to keep the seriousness. And Douglas Adams had overdone the humour in the Tom Baker towards the end of the Tom Baker era.
I don't know. I think it was. I think that's a criticism that is levied at that quite a fair bit. But I think. I think the previous series before Douglas Adams took over sort of suffered from an overwhelming lack of humour. Really, it was pretty. It was not. I would say it was Tom Baker's worst series.
Plus
purely because it lacked that kind of humour. Maybe it was an overcorrection a little bit, but I still think it worked. But again, that only lasted for a very short time. Then, towards the end of his run, he was clearly over it.
Yeah, I think Tom Baker liked the humour involved in it. The silly wee lines and all that. The playing with the yo-yo and all that, and tripping up people with a scarf or doing something stupid like that.
But
I think he liked that.
Something that Troughton used to do quite a lot. And obviously what Sylvester did in his first run, not so successfully, but I think it's part of the Doctor's trait to kind of confuse and befuddle his foes by lulling them into a false sense of security that he's a bumbling idiot when he's actually thinking 3 steps or 10 steps ahead.
Yeah. It was like they were trying to describe the Doctor in the beginning as a very skilled chess player that had reasonably and cunningly was planning his moves.
Well, that's it. He was always playing 3D chess when everyone else was playing drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about the context of his relationship with the Time Lords, he probably learned that whole trait of look like an idiot, and people won't suspect much of you or will underestimate you from the Time Lords, because if you think about how they treated him, he was the sort of he was the student who didn't do well. I've always got the impression he was the joker in class. He was the student who could do when he put his mind to it, but he just would rather lark about at the back.
Well, that's it.
That's how I always picture the Doctor at the academy.
It's his rebellious nature. He's rebelling against the austerity of Time Lord society, and he's free. And of course, if you're free and you're gonna be exuberant, you're gonna have a sense of humor. I think. I think you have to have a sense of humor when you're facing that level of adversity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like even Bill, like who gets sort of seen as though he's sort of this oldest like grandfather figure. Like he like in these episodes, he's having fun at times. He's just having a bit of a lark.
Yeah, and I think that was a development to kind of make him more appealing to the younger audience as well. Because even though he is a mysterious figure, he so grumpy. You know, they sort of made him more universally appealing, I think.
I think that what was appealing about the Doctor in the beginning was the fact that it was a grandfather, and because because it was like described. Imagine if your grandfather was this kind of person. You know, this person that had all those mysterious powers could travel in space and time and take you off into weird adventures and like that. I mean, you could just imagine that how exciting that would be.
Yeah, like you add a bit of mystery to Grandad.
Yeah.
And it's a show that, you know, the grandparents and the parents and the children can all watch together and, you know, connect over. Because you've got that kind of represented on screen, haven't you? You've got the grandfather, you've got the parent type figures, you've got the child figure.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about the Peter Cushing movies, because he was a grandfather, and that's why I liked that bit about the non-canon part of Doctor Who, and even in the classic series. But when it moved to the regeneration of the Doctor, and I remember that I just wasn't sure of the Doctor back then. I was like, as a child, I was scared of the program and the music and all that, and you just didn't know he was going to get out of the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, just waiting
Apparently, the Doctor's lost the TARDIS.
When does he ever not lose the TARDIS?
Well, that's true. Right.
And apparently the TARDIS is indestructible. Oh, I've got a problem here with this video file. Oh, I'll get it.
There we go. I've got mine loaded.
Right, got it loaded.
Yep, I'm ready when everybody else is.
Alright.
Just need to go back to the very start.
Make sure it's playing first.
It is. Not yet. You starting fecking. Alright, no, stop that crap. Stop that crap. No. I forbid it.
The more you say it, the more he'll do it.
I know, that's why I'm saying it. Jesus Christ, man. All I need you to do is go back to the start. You know how to do that? Yeah. Okay, whenever you're ready. Everybody in the chat, please press 1 if you're ready. We're getting straight into it.
Yeah, because we've got a 6-parter, so we want to.
Yowza, yeah.
A 6-parter. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And what was it you were complaining about me doing again? No.
Well, I actually didn't pick this episode.
No, it's not a 6-parter, it's a 4-parter.
Is it? I can't remember.
Is it 4?
It's only a 4-parter. Because the last episode is the Crater of Needles.
I swear it was 6, the one I watched. Okay, we'll see what happens.
Roy, you got wands, so go for it there.
Right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Oh.
According to everybody in the chat, 6 parts.
Yeah, I watched 6 parts.
No, it's a 4-parter here. It's episode 1's the Web Planet, and episode 2 is the Zarbi. Episode 3 is Escape to Danger, and episode 4 is the Crater of Needles.
Well, maybe it's a different format on that website, but
or maybe there's episodes missing. I don't know. It's the way this thing's laid out.
No, it's 6 episodes. The Web Planet, the Zarbi, Escape to Danger, Crater of Needles, Invasion, and the Center.
All right. I was getting confused. There's a lion there after it.
Yeah. so easy to forget these things because I don't watch as much
Yeah,
of
the
the
hard
black and
ones
white
I don't
episodes.
watch over and over myself. That's what I mean.
That's why we do these things. So we do sort of, appreciate them.
Well,
A
Jesus,
bit
it's
more.
part man. I didn't
Well
pick
done.
this one, though, so don't blame me. I'll be picking the Patrick Trout one. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, because you definitely have.
How
Actually,
many
I
have we
know.
got left of the Charlton era too that we can actually?
We don't actually. We'd probably be repeating some now at this stage, but I don't care.
No.
And suggestions
Just a
on that
turn.
welcome. So
6-parter, 10-parters, 8-parters.
So keep your suggestions to yourself because I won't
Well,
be
that's the
listening.
problem with a lot of the Charlton era. They are
Yeah.
very long.
I know, yeah.
Which is for me, it's like, oh, I love Troughton when we get to Troughton, but I'm like, oh, that means half the time it's a 6-part.
I know.
It's like, good thing I love him and Jamie.
Yeah, the War Games,
as a
good
pair.
choice.
Oh, Ian's hurt again.
Of course he's hurt.
Barbara was walking towards a pool of acid, yet, right up to the edge, but she didn't continue, or she's still moving towards it. What?
Oh, hi, Disaster. Whatever, you were watching football by the sounds of it, so hello.
Evening, dear chap. Ship's gone. Oh, here we go.
I have a shock for you, dear boy. The TARDIS is gone.
It's like, why are you laughing after saying that, Doctor?
Oh, look at this.
Your Hartnell's very good there, I have to say, though. Super Doctor.
I love the hand motions with these guys, so whenever they talk, it's hard for me to do in this. Like, the hands are constantly doing this.
Keep expecting to break out into
see
song.
You can see
Yeah.
the separation in the wall there, the painted wall.
Mr. Sandman, bring me
Yeah.
into...
And like I said, they have that very very high pitched voice. So it's like, oh, did you mean to make these things camp?
I look fabulous!
Sometimes you don't really know that it's really Hartnell's on stage of his illness. You know, he had arteriosclerosis, and basically his memory was beginning to fail as well.
Yeah.
And he was forgetting his lines.
Yeah, because I've always seen it as like the reason they replaced him was because they were almost protecting him because they knew how bad his illness was.
Yeah.
So it broke his heart, but they weren't doing it to sort of be mean. They were basically just like, we know this schedule and it's not going to work with your health. So it's like, we're doing this to almost save you a bit. Like, that's the impression I've always got.
Disaster area says Lee is back, shortest retirement in history. Yes. I've made myself a single allowance. I'm allowed.
Compromise. Disaster. We've got to compromise with him.
I couldn't let Noel down. He's my oldest buddy on the YouTubes, and I have committed. So.
I do like this bit with the TARDIS being dragged and the light flashing on and off. There's something something about TARDIS model shots that makes it a wee bit of special bits in Doctor Who, and especially in the Dominators as well. When you see the lava coming over the TARDIS.
Yeah, squinting's going to help. Ooh,
yeah,
that's pretty spooky.
Well, you get the vibe that they were trying at parts to make this spooky, this story, but it's a bit like, well, good try, lads, but you've got obviously fellas in hand costumes. So.
But for the 60s, they didn't know any better. They had no other reference point. So for them, it was, Alien and interesting.
Oh yeah, you can't bash it properly. It's just you can tell at times they're trying a lot
Yeah.
to make
You
this
could
a
tell that
spooky one.
this is not Sydney Newman's favourite episodes.
Oh god, yeah, this would be. I'd be probably hated this one, Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah, no bug-eyed monsters, and then you've got literal bug-eyed monsters.
Do you think Verity heard him and was like, you know what? Just because you've said that, I'm going to make them do a bug episode.
Oh, you messed up her hair.
Went to the hairdressers.
Right.
Her hair always gets messed up. There's little things I'm noticing now. Like, Ian always gets hurt. Barbara's hair always starts off lovely, and by the end, it's like a mess
Disheveled.
almost.
Oh, there goes our bracelet.
But no, these, what they're called? What they're named? Mothams, what they're called?
They're the Monoptera.
Monoptraps.
Monoptera.
Yeah, sorry.
These are really. I was like, okay, I actually really dig these designs.
I noticed she didn't scream. She didn't run and fall over and sprain her ankle. She's just like, oh, okay.
No, because that was Susan's job.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, not Barbara.
But not Barbara.
Barbara was there to be the voice of reason, I think.
Barbara's owning the situation.
She was there to tell the doctor off, let's be honest.
Well, that's also true.
Because Susan would never challenge him, would she? So it's like Barbara's there to be the challenger.
She's there to give the doctor his humanity, really.
Yeah, and maybe that's why in later years he always had female companions. Maybe it was like he was almost wanting Barbara in essence back, and that's why he had that.
I think I think the real reason for the female companion is because of Susan. You know, he gave up Susan, but Susan had to grow up and find a life for herself, and he didn't want Susan to become like he was, like, you know, like a seemingly aimless wanderer. He wanted Susan to settle down and have a life.
Well, I think it's he looks for someone like Barbara, but his emotional reasons might be because of Susan.
Yeah, so it's probably a mixture. Like the sort of the age. That's why he tends to be younger females because of Susan, but Barbara's influence of being the voice of reason and the emotional almost check for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people saying in this chat, I did wonder why the camera looked odd. Now I know, thank you. I was like watching it today and I was like, what's up with some of these camera shots? But they've put Vaseline on, that's probably why.
Daniel's come in to keep an eye on everyone, make sure that they're behaving themselves. Hello, Daniel Legend.
He's taking a break from watching Line of Duty for the 10th time.
Or Blade Runner.
No, we're on Total Recall now, aren't we?
Oh, right. Cool, yeah. Blake 7 next.
Oh, okay. See that? How am I going to fit that in?
It's only 4 seasons. You'll manage.
Oh, okay. Only 4 seasons.
Kill her.
Yeah, just casually. Just kill her.
Must not be trusted.
What is the thing? They're sort of proven right, aren't they? Though, like with what happens in the next episode, that they basically do get attacked because of her.
One of these Monopteras is Martin Jarvis. So, which one is Martin Jarvis?
You're showing generation here. Like, who's that? The name, who's Martin, and what's he famous for?
Martin Jarvis was in quite a lot of films. He was also in Titanic, the film, the movie Titanic.
Oh, I watched that. Who was he in there?
I think he's the one of the Duff Gordons, I think.
Oh God! See, now you've said a name, so I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've seen that Cameron movie. Yeah. Go on, Bob. Get that ready. I love the fact that she's literally got somebody watching her, and they don't realise she's pulling that bit of wood with her feet. So, yes, Undercover. Well, no, I've watched the original, and I'm being sent the sequel. So but now we're on Recall, so that's my homework.
You can see the camera lights, the studio lights sitting, bouncing off the camera.
Yeah, see, but that's quite a nice effect, though.
Yeah.
Just I don't understand the whole Vaseline. Why make it look that weird in shots?
Well, actually, if they had a kind of smoke machine, I think it would add to the illusion.
Yes, it probably would
planet.
actually. Smoke machine would do good here.
Yeah.
But they probably couldn't afford it, knowing who at this time.
Giant ants. Oh, better watch out, Ian.
And the doctor's just like, Ian, don't move, and he just keeps moving. Yeah, those are just open by themselves, love. Just go out. That's a safe idea. I think this is a good set, though. Their
Yes,
sort
is.
of hive base thing.
And the sets would have been reused as well for the chase as well.
See, I don't mind when that happens as long as it's not that obvious. Like, I'm not a stickler for that. I'm like, yeah, reuse a set, but at least dress it a bit different. You're gonna reuse it again.
Just when they alter the lighting a bit, I think it's more effective as well.
Mm.
Okay, tell him, dog.
It's all right. Don't push. Don't push.
Oh, he didn't like that very much.
Oh, he's scared of the TARDIS. Oh, it's going crazy. I can't comprehend it.
And the poor camera's trying to keep track of it.
Costumes are very impressive, though.
Yeah, they are. Now, the Zarbi are harmless. I think they're just under control.
Yeah.
Mind-
Yeah, that's what they
mind
say.
control.
Yeah, because they say near the end of the story that they lived in peace.
Yeah.
And I got the impression that they were just sort of like a food chain almost thing. Of they were just bottom of the food chain, and they didn't cause any issue.
Hive mind, like
Yeah.
Twitter.
I thought some of the animatronics in classic the Hartnell episodes are quite good. I mean, when you look at the Planet of the Giants, for instance, the huge fly that they made, where Barbara had came over to the seeds and that and touched the seeds that had DN6 on it, and when she encountered the fly, you could see it looked like an actual fly. They had got it quite spot on.
Well, I think they innovated a lot of things. I mean, people laugh and scoff at practical effects of Doctor Who, but I mean, really think about it. On a shoestring budget, trying to create something from the imagination like that, it's all levels of brilliance. You know.
And it was like £1,000 an episode. That's all they had to kind of work with.
Well, it's the same as a budget for any other TV show, wasn't it?
Yeah. And now Doctor Who is, was like a kind of multi-million-pound series.
Yeah.
For New Who.
Well, the the new Lord of the Rings series that they're doing on Amazon is going to cost about $400 million an episode. It's just
yeah, and it's like, but if you think about it, like look at this, like you were saying, like £1,000 an episode, and now what it can get to is ridiculous, really, isn't it?
Can you imagine a TV show costing $400 million an episode? That's just why would you run the risk of that? I mean, that's film budget stuff, right? It doesn't make sense
easy.
to me.
Oh, Barbara's now under control.
Phew. Falling over each other.
Yeah, you can tell the poor people in the Yang costumes were a bit like, these are massive, ungangly
tripping
sort
over
of
the
things.
wings.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And they couldn't see out these costumes. They were bumping into the cameras and everything.
I mean, they had no time really at all to rehearse all this properly either. You know, bear that in mind. Most of it had been technical, plotting out the where the actors stand and everything, and they all had to learn their lines within a week. You know.
Yeah, and like this, some of these stories are very densely packed with dialogue as well, which is really impressive if you think about like having a week to learn it.
Yeah, and they were lucky to have 2 takes It was usually one take and you're done. That's it. Otherwise,
Well,
the
yeah,
lights would go off and you'd be out.
Well, yeah, I can remember hearing Davidson, because I love listening to Peter Davidson when he's on panels because he's so witty and he's so funny and dry and he just takes the mick out of himself. And he was saying, and he said he couldn't remember what episode it was, but they knew they had to be done by 10.
Yeah.
And he goes, we were literally rushing, and we just got it like a minute to 10. He goes, we just got it. And then it was just like we could all rush out then. And he goes, it was crazy when you think about it, just how tight.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was
a
like
a lot of pressure.
Oh God, yeah, that's what I remember thinking when I heard it, because I was like, imagine just as an actor, you're thinking, if I muck up, I can't come back tomorrow. I can't have another take.
Mm,
It's probably going to go in whatever like fluff I do.
exactly.
I mean, think about Bill. Like there's some famous moments when he does fluff stuff, and you
Yeah.
can tell that's because they didn't have time to redo scenes.
Yep. Precisely.
TARDIS has got no window pane in it. In this one. And one of the windows is open.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go.
The Doctor's having his mind. Well, actually, he's having his hair dried.
Well, he says it, doesn't he? Later, I love that line later on when he goes, "Your hair dryer." I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
some of you guys reference that, and it's not just the audience.
Quick, put Barbara onto that. She needs her hair sorted.
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
No, not part 83.
You
Part 3.
can see that the actors in the Zarbi costumes actually played the Daleks as well. So
Oh, we got the
they
same sense of
basically
direction.
reused them. Ah, good old Verity Lambert.
Yeah.
That's it.
Richard Martin.
Undercover Troop says Ian handed his note in his notice while filming this episode. Don't think that was a reflection of the episode, though. There we go.
But they did it quite early on, didn't they? That's the impression I'm now getting about Classic. That they sort of quite early on had to almost say whether they were going to stay for much longer.
Yeah.
Right, ready when you guys are.
Daniel Leach, I'm a bit met about Blake Seven now. We've been over this, buddy.
Oh,
Get over
Daniel.
it. Watch it. It's all about the journey, mate. It's great. The characters just are to die for. Anyway, that was my Blake Seven.
Okay, my browser is froze.
Oops.
Right, while he's resetting his browser, everybody in the chat, please press 1.
Damn it.
Janet.
No, it's crashed.
Oh, that's not good.
It's going
And now I've
crazy
got-
here.
Reset.
No, I can't access anything.
Oi.
It's gone back. It just must have been a kind of faulty flash.
Hmm.
Is it working?
It's working, it seems.
Right, we've got plenty of ones, so tell us when you're ready, Super John.
Well,
Yes, Avon lives. Absolutely.
come on, settle down. No, it's crashed again. Somebody just
Oi.
doesn't like it. Somebody doesn't like me doing this. Wonder if it's the BBC trying to hack my computer.
Well, they've
They did-
cracked down on fans doing fan stuff, you know. Which
Yeah.
is pissing off just everybody now. So they've really shot themselves in the foot with it. Even their most ardent supporters.
Just BBC, don't touch Beware. Just don't touch Beware, please.
They'll
It
be
seems
held
to be
to
working
pay.
now.
Right, let's get the show on the road. Do the countdown. Got it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Diggity dig, diggity dig, diggity dig.
Oh, Time Mechanic said he found his stash of Target books last weekend. That'd be a good find for you, mate.
It's amazing what you can find in charity shops.
See, the next time I go rooting in one, I'll probably have a bit of an eye out and see if any Target books do pop up.
I found a
Escape to
big,
danger.
huge Doctor Who book in I think it was the Salvation Army. And I've still got it somewhere. It was actually in mint condition.
Nice.
Most things are, to be fair, in charity shops,
Yeah.
especially books. Seems to be pretty
Well,
good
I got
condition.
my 1979 and 1980 Blake 7 annuals from eBay, which are in pretty damn good nick, I have to say.
But it's like you were talking about the sort of stepping so many steps ahead. Like you really start to see it now because he's deliberately being very careful what he says. He's deliberately not telling everything, and he's like trying to keep just so it's a sort of this is the bit I did find interesting about this story, like how much the Doctor has to be on his feet almost.
Yeah.
Because he's basically captured a good chunk of it, and he knows he has to be incredibly cautious. There you go. There's your smoke machine, Super Doctor. They used it for these scenes, just not the planet.
Oh, I love that. What a great delivery. We could help you. I have great wonders in my ship. We could help you. Cool.
See, the flying
Hey,
also is
can't
quite
catch me.
impressive. The flying, like you were saying before, it's quite impressive, I think, in this episode.
Yeah.
Guild yours. Mm.
Because the voice that they use, I quite like the woman's voice. It's just I think I would have liked a bit more of it, or a bit more of a presence.
Yeah, the bleep bleep bleeps are getting a bit.
Yeah. You missed it, Lee, but I said I struggled with this story today.
Yeah.
I was a bit like, it's good
It's like having
bits.
your mobile phone go off 24 minutes a time.
Yeah, or like having Messenger constantly beep at you.
Yeah.
But just imagine the actors working in that, how difficult this story must have been for them to wonder exactly what was going on.
Wallop into the camera.
Yeah, that was a proper wallop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Daleks have done that.
Oh, I think my favourite blooper ever is I found it on YouTube, so I don't even know if it's still about. But it's like you can tell it looks like a blooper reel from one of the classic DVDs, and somebody's just put it on YouTube, and it is one of the Dalek controllers, and I don't know what episode it's from. And you see this Dalek go down like a corridor or something, and it's straight, and then it just veers off. But it's so funny because that's funny enough just to see a Dalek veer, but then you hear obviously the fella underneath swear very loudly. So it's like, oh, Dalek swearing. It's so funny.
Bollocks.
But no, basically not that word, but think of like another swear word, but that loud, and it's just like, yeah, this is why bloopers are fun. But is this Hartnell's second series then?
Yeah.
Like, just look at also. I was thinking this watching it as well. Like, look at the change from his first interactions with Barbara and Ian to here. Like, you can see such a change that he's very like he listens to Ian, even though he'll have a sharp word for him. Like, he'll listen to Barbara, even though he will have a sharp word for her. And it's like you can tell they've almost become like grandchildren to him.
Yeah.
And think about how like standoffish he was in those very early episodes.
Yeah, he's relaxed, that's he's learned to trust them because obviously they've had a few adventures now and all their lives have depended upon each other, and he understands that, and he realizes they're not as backwards as he assumed them to be, being mere earthlings.
They're not like this like nuisance as much.
Yeah.
Oh, Daniel, if your channel had a censor button, God, that'd be funny as anything. It would be like 3 words in a sentence, and you just would, and everything else would be beeps.
Yeah, it would be just bleep, 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 clank, bleep, 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 clank, bleep, bleep. Oh, fabulous.
Bleep, 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 Celtic. Like, that would be it.
Yeah. That's why we love him.
I love this. He's like, come on. Come down and speak to me, you silly thing.
Come down, you hairdryer.
Oh, good gracious me, no.
Like I said, it's a proper cat and mouse game between him and this entity.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Eric. Eric's popped in the chat.
Hello, Eric. Boss man. Good to see you.
Now, next week's story is the Macra Terror. Now, before anybody starts going, oh, don't hold it, blah, 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 right? For the people on the panel, it's on that site.
It is.
Right? It's in black and white, but it's also in color as well. It's the animated version, obviously, but it's there. We're gonna have to do. Listen, I'm at looking through the list while that's why I'm at being quiet. I'm at looking through the list, right? Of the Troughton stories, and we've done them all. The ones that we haven't done is these animation ones, so we're gonna have to do a few of them, unfortunately. So if you don't have the animation, you have a week to try find it. But it's the Macra Terror next week. The Macra Terror. And
Cool.
Lee, don't worry, it's on that site. We'll be able to get it.
No, I've got it. I've got it.
You've got it already because I think Rabbi shared it to you. But I can't find it on my. That's the thing. I thought I had it on my cloud, but it's not there now. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, and luckily, Macratel's right near the bottom of the mat.
It is right near the bottom, so
it's easy to find as well.
It's easy to find.
And do as Eric K says, the wrench of wrenches, king wrench of the wrenches. Smash the thumbs up and show some TARDIS love.
That's the point. Is Chris in the chat? I don't think we've seen him tonight.
That's it. Because we're all about drama here.
Yeah, the only drama is here, babe. Drama queen.
Well, we have a queen and a drama queen joining us.
There you go. What more do you want?
That's it. The only drama you get on this channel is Doctor Who.
Right.
Or if Lee's late and we all call him out for it.
Well, that's allowed.
This is what it's all about anyway.
Exactly.
See, this is why I love doing this. Even though I forget what happened in some of them. We've done some of these before. This is the thing you forget very easy, which is mad. But I'm glad we're still doing the classic anyway.
Well, that's, that's what created us, for the vast majority of us, obviously Charlotte is a Nuvian, but, this is what it's all about. This is the history of our beloved show and just a reminder of why we fell in love with it in the first place.
The way he pushed them over there.
Yeah.
It's like cow tipping, isn't it?
Anyway.
See, if that was Jamie, he would have just stabbed it.
And Disaster Era says 2 queens are better than 1. Well, there you are. Yeah. An undercover trooper rightly points out, no one would call out Lee. Lol. Absolutely.
Listen, guys, unfortunately, we've done most of the Troughton stories, so I know it's going to be very difficult to find, but you will find it. There are ways.
Yeah, do some web site searching, folks.
Yeah, you'll find it archived somewhere.
Yeah. That's all I'll say. Actually, I think it's allowed to go up on that. I don't know, because they send donations to that site, so I don't know. I think it might be legal, but I won't say it just in case.
Oh yeah, don't.
But yeah, I know he is enjoying it. Of course, Daniel will enjoy it. He's a big Classic Who fan, Lee.
Of course.
Lee just is like yourself.
This was one of the first.
All the shit that's going on. It's bound.
This is one of the first Hartnell stories I rewatched when I got BritBox. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to start with that one.
This just reminds me of a fucking cartoon. All you just need is the music, Tom and Jerry music.
Sounds like a Space Invaders game or something.
It's more Scooby-Doo, I think, at times.
Scooby-Doo, that's the one.
Scooby-Doo.
Or the Flintstones.
Or the what was it? The oh bloody hell. The oh fuck, I have to look it up now.
Don't mind him. He didn't know what he was talking about. See, he was just making some shit up there.
But watching this for the first time in the 1960s, and you're a 1960s child, I mean, growing up in the 1960s, it would be pretty scary.
Oh, that would be, of course it would.
The
yeah.
clangers, the
We're-
clangers, the
We're
clangers.
more desensitized to all of that sort of stuff now, but back then, kids were quite, you know, this would have been fascinating. Like,
Well, you know, my dad was, you know, a kid at this time and was watching Doctor Who and collecting all the Daleks and stuff like that. You know, he was a fan of, and he still says, you know, that Bill Hartnell is his Doctor. So, you know, it runs through my veins.
Whereas I can remember when the show was coming back, and I said to my dad, "So what is Doctor Who?" And I'm trying to remember how he described it to me, because he watched it, but he was on a phone. That's it.
It's a wonderful thing. What other TV shows can you claim that are a multi-generational shared experience? You know, really. I mean,
well, Star Trek.
Well, Star Trek is one. You know, for Americans for sure, but you know, Doctor Who is ours.
Well,
and ours is obviously
Doctor Who, yeah. Mm. Well, it was Doctor Who.
Well, it was destroyed in 2017.
Just past tense.
No, I can remember he basically described it to me as, "Oh, it's like a weird sci-fi show. You'll probably like it."
Oh, here's a fan theory for you. Vicky's in fact the Master because her costume looks very similar to Anthony Ainley's costume. Da, da, da.
Enigmatic Joker has told everybody where you can find it. I won't call it out, but there you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, chat, Joker's helped you guys.
So there you go, chat. If you just want to watch the Macro Terror and join us next week, you don't have to feel left out at all.
Or buy the DVD on eBay. Don't give the money to the BBC.
Oh, Undercover Trooper, have you guys heard any rumours about a certain well-known animation studio sniffing around audio rights to some Classic Who? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we spoke about it. Do you remember that we were thinking of turning some of the classic stories into animations because they got the audio?
Well, no, but isn't that so? Would this be not the usual companies that do it? Would it be a separate company?
Well, it can't be any worse than the current one that they used for the Fury of the Deep, which was atrociously bad.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it's so backwards. It's like going back to the Troughton Dalek story, which has escaped me. My brain's just not in full gear. I've only had one coffee. Daniel says, "Is your dad a purist, Lee?" Meaning that he only accepts Hartnell. No, I mean that's his favourite Doctor, but he's always watched Doctor Who till recently, obviously.
Yeah, but the way Undercover, could you maybe say what certain studio in the chat? Because I'd be interested if it's not the usual, if it's almost like an outside production wanting to sniff.
It was better off at Cosgrove Hall, really. Cosgrove was the best option, but they outsourced it to some Indian animators or something, didn't they, for Fury of the Deep?
It's just Uncanny Valley though, because I did watch, because everybody went, "God, that looks bad." So I did watch the trailer for the next animation, and even I was like, "Oh yeah, Uncanny Valley."
Have you seen the anime Doctor Who?
No, I need to. Just for the
craziness. It's on YouTube. Just put in anime Doctor Who, and it's fantastic. It's so good. The Cybermen look incredible.
Oh, Japanese anime. So Japan might be sniffing around.
Well, someone did it in the style of, but it's got samples of actual dialogue, and they sort of stitched it together to make a.
Yeah, but if an actual animation studio in Japan is thinking about it, that'd be interesting.
That would be bonkers, wouldn't it?
That's what I mean. It would just imagine Japan trying to do Doctor Who.
Well, go and look check on YouTube and just type in Doctor Who anime, and And look for the one with Pertwee, because they did one with Pertwee. It's absolutely incredible. It's got Daleks in it, Cybermen, 2 Masters. It's great.
Oh, Ian's bonding with the moth thing now.
He is. It's like interpretive dance.
They do look like they're like drama students, don't they?
They went really big time with the Gauze lens, haven't they?
Oh, the same one to do this possible rumor who did the Samurai Batman film. Oh, I saw clips of that. Them doing Doctor Who. That would be actually, I think, really interesting. Because that's very if it's the same people, that was very stylized when they did the Batman stuff.
I just don't think the BBC in the long run are doing themselves many favours. I mean, yes, it's good that we're having them animated, and we should be grateful for that. But at the same time, you know, the more penny pinchy they are with it, and the more dated it will be very quickly. Oh, yeah. And I just think it's a shame, you know, that if you look at the animation style, it hasn't progressed any. It's remained pretty much the same or gotten worse.
You think they'd want to make them the best, though, that they possibly can, because they are missing, you know, but they don't.
I mean, I'm sure there are fans out there who can probably do their own versions better and cheaper. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
but, currently they're telling fans that they can't create any more fan stuff because they're going to come down, and I think that's a very retroactive move. I think, you know, in an age where Doctor Who is suffering so badly, to tell fans that they can't do fan stuff, it's
I've been surprised how much press that's got. Usually the press don't talk about this sort of thing. I'm surprised how much the press have picked up, so hopefully that makes them back off.
Well, they should.
Usually this sort of it happens and the fans have to deal with it, but I've seen quite some, like, even newspaper online articles talk about it.
Well, I mean, Big Finish has created such a monopoly, and when you look at how much people are asking for the limited edition CDs, which is like upwards of £200 each. I mean, is it any wonder fans are turning to making things? I mean, they're always talking about representing and inclusion and all this kind of stuff where people can see themselves in the roles, and people are literally put themselves in those roles, and now they're being told they can't. It's such a cognitive dissonance, I think, really.
Well, yeah, but isn't also the Doctor now, when you're like you're a figure in literature and you've like passed copyright now? Didn't that happen a couple of years ago? Yeah, I don't know if it's public domain, but I'm sure a couple of years ago the Doctor became like a character like Sherlock Holmes almost. That
I think because it's in continuous.
Yeah, that's what I'm
continuous
thinking.
Use, it doesn't work that way. It's funny how. Well, I mean, the copyright laws changed because of the Beatles anyway. Because when the Beatles passed the public domain thing, they just changed the rules to make it extend for another however many decades it was. So who knows anymore? I don't even know. I think because it's in continuous production still, that the copyright is still active. But I really think that for a character that's this old now, that's nearly 60 years old, it should, I think anything after 50 years really should be public domain, quite honestly. I certainly don't think they should be, coming down on people hard for just doing fan stuff.
Right,
probably because it's going to be better than the original TV series.
Right, let's get this going, because Charlotte leaves at 9, and I want to try squeeze this all in before she leaves. So
let's go.
Let's get this next episode done.
Is it 5? 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Well, I've got till
Cool.
10, mate.
Oh,
So
10.
you've got a little bit. It's either 10 or my battery life. Those are the two things.
Whichever runs out first.
Yeah, basically, with me. I'll see if I can get a new charger over summer, I think, because it's just getting a bit ridiculous.
Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. And that's another thing. Star Wars actually encouraged people to do their own fan stuff.
Oh yeah, some of the stuff. Have you the Kenobi fan film on YouTube? I love that fan film.
But it's sad that Star Trek and Doctor Who
Yeah.
are the exact opposite. They now. I mean,
I think
Doctor Who's been
Star Trek
allowed,
done the
but
same.
now not anymore. Well, Star
I think-
Trek, yeah, but then they
yeah.
came down on Axanar, didn't they? And
Yeah.
scuppered that.
Yeah, because the Star Trek Continues would have done more episodes.
Yeah,
As
Star
well,
Trek
if it
Continues was
wasn't
brilliant.
for the copyright stuff.
Yeah, but they were doing proper Star Trek, which CBS and all these people aren't actually providing. Fans are giving themselves what they want. They're telling you what they want, and you're not giving it to them. That's why they're doing it. Take care, Eric. Eric's off. Says, I'm sorry, I need to run some errands. All take care. Be safe for you too, mate. Hail to the wrench of wrenches.
Because this is quite a dark idea with the whole, they either kill them or they make them slaves and rip the wings out from their back. It's that's quite dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting fireworks getting off. It's because the Rangers getting winnings.
Daniel was telling me he had fireworks going off.
It's crazy. So if it comes through in the audio, you know what it is.
Well, it can't be much funnier than poor Eddie in the stream with Noel having the ice cream man outside his window.
I heard that.
Yeah, disaster. I was wondering that. Where's Chris is usually in the chat, and he's probably busy, God bless him.
So what's the timestamp we were at? Because computer slowed down there.
Yeah, no, I'll have to give it to you, mate, because I'm on the other site tonight.
Right.
Or I would give you. Because for a really rough guide, mine's about now 4 minutes 5 seconds. I don't know if that can help you, but obviously I'm using a different.
I think it's about the same.
Well, yeah, like I said, I've managed to find one with no adverts for once. So I was like, oh, this is easiest for me to get up quick, so I'm using that tonight. an unknown that if you want an actual like physical fan film, they're a bit harder to find for Doctor Who. That's why recently I've been listening to fan audios. So it depends. I can tell you some fan audios, but I'm not so good on actual, because it's just, I think everybody knows if they try and do it themselves, it's just going to look a bit naturally cheap, isn't it? If God loves like a fan's trying to do a TARDIS or
yeah, a lot of Doctor Who fan films aren't particularly brilliant. It's just usually kids playing around, which is fine. I mean, it's fun, and people learning how to do film work and stuff like that, and writing and acting and all sorts. So it should be encouraged, not frowned upon and told you can't do that. And it's so boring and tedious. But a lot of fan audios are actually.
Yeah,
I think the trouble is that they're actually a competition to Big Finish, which is a monopoly. But I think competition is healthy, and maybe it'll help them to up their game.
Well, fan audio's unknown. There's a channel called Beware, which I've said, which people know probably I've been keeping track of, and he does monthly audios at the moment. He's keeping to that, which is quite impressive.
And Black Glove Studios.
And Lee can tell you about Black Gloves.
Yeah, Black Glove Studio, fantastic. I mean, the guys, oh my goodness, like the guy does the Pertwee. He's an American, right? He's an American from I think the Mid-South or something like that, and he sounds just like Pertwee. So he's got not only to learn the English accent, but Pertwee's accent and Pertwee's particular lisp. So it's all these things, and he does it absolutely brilliantly. And the guy who does Delgado's Master is on point as well, absolutely amazing. So yeah, check out the final game.
I'm trying to think of any others then. I know there's one which isn't bad for actual physical, but I can't think of what the channel's called. But they've stopped doing them now, which is a shame.
Yeah, there's a good few out there.
DW, what they're called, DW, and there are some numbers. See, I haven't got anything to actually, no, what I'm saying, I've got my laptop. Let me find it for you unknown. Because they're actually not bad for an actual physical like Doctor Who series. But it's a shame they sort of have stopped doing them of late. Let me find it for you. Camera off for a second. No, I found them on YouTube. If you look for DW 2012, that's the channel, and they had one run with one doctor who was the guy behind the channel originally, and he still directs them even though he's not the doctor anymore. And then they've had a newish doctor, but like I said, they've I don't know if they've had to stop because of the world situation or anything. But yeah, if you want one for an actual physical another fan thing, look for DW 2012. I found the voices for these things also quite funny. Like the proper with the rough grunting voices in comparison to the high pitched sort of moth creatures.
Costumes are incredibly creative.
Yeah, they're beautiful, actually.
I mean, they must have spent an awful lot of work making these Menoptera costumes and these kind of. I think they're kind of pupus.
And
costumes.
all of this is before, you know, the invention of what do you call it? What do they call that glass? What's my thing? Oh god, my brain! Engage!
I'm trying to think. Glass for like. You mean like masks?
Fiberglass.
Fiberglass.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. You can see that they're kind of made by foam, but it really looks very effective.
I'm digging the glass organ music. It's fantastic. That's a glass organ, an organ that uses glass. I think it's a beautiful thing.
I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think. You don't see many of those just physically, do you?
No. There's a brilliant French composer, I forget his name, but he did these really bizarre, hypnotically melodic, strange glass organ records that very hard to come by. But there was actually one was actually used for a BBC, I think it was BBC educational program back in the 70s and early 80s that I remember, called Picture Box. And it had a glass organ used for that. You can find it on YouTube. It's fantastic. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Was that for Channel 4 or something like that?
I can't remember. No, I think it's before Channel 4 was around, so I'm sure it was BBC. Oh no, it was ITV. There we go. Theme from ITV school series Picture Box, and the track was called Maneche, Maneche, by Jacques Lazare.
Very French by the end.
Very, very beautiful. Yeah, go and check that out after the stream. It's a gorgeous piece of music. Very haunting. Creeped a lot of kids out, but I loved it.
Well, that's what they liked to do back then, didn't they?
Yeah, oh, they did. They did. But it was always really fascinating, I think, you know. People look at it now and go, well, that's creepy. And it's like, at the time, it's just like really evocative, and you were just sort of hypnotized by it.
Well, if you think about just like the theme for Doctor Who, and especially the early title sequences, and if you think about this was a kids show, like in the minds of the BBC and quite a few people, and it's like they had that as an opening, and it's very dark. If you think,
yeah, I mean, you know, when they put the visuals to it and they wanted to put the face in there, it was like, oh, too scary. But I think that would have been fantastic. She means business. She ain't backing about.
well, he's being cocky now, but in a minute he's not going to be so cocky. And Bill's face, he's just like, oh, oops.
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate design for whatever these things are supposed to be, though, isn't it? That makes them go like not hypnotic. See, those paintings don't look nothing like them. So when they're like, "Oh, there are gods," and you look at them and you're like, "Shouldn't they have wings then?" Oh, somebody's coming through. It's not me, is it?
Loving that sound design.
Because I was having on the Facebook page, I was having like a discussion with folks to do with classic versus new with the music, and it's so interesting to see how it's so some people can't stand one way or love the other. Because I was sort of just saying, I think that's what I'm missing without going into detail. And it was just like, it was interesting to see some people from the classic era say, no, I prefer the classic approach.
Mm.
And to sort of chat with them about that, because obviously that's not my background. But obviously I'm sort of getting more of it now, but it is definitely a different approach.
I think one of the greatest tragedies with the BBC was getting rid of the BBC's radiophonic workshop. I really do. I think they don't treat sound properly anymore. You know, they just outsource it, and it's all these grand composers and all this kind of stuff. And really, you know, you want to experiment and push the boundaries, and I think it innovated so much. And I think it's a shame that that art is lost. It's a beautiful thing, sound art. And it's and sound design, and it's just become a sort of commodity, really.
Oh yeah, especially when like you know, for example, your budget can't get to a certain point, or you're trying, so you use sound to sort of get the extra that you can't do on set, almost.
Hmm.
Because I was like I was trying to think for like classic episodes that the sound was sort of something that I really loved, and Tomb came to mind actually, because like that they're really anyway the Cybermen in that story, that because there's a lot of body horror and it's their first story, so you haven't like had the overexposure yet. But I was thinking about the music in Tomb, and that is quite unsettling. And it's just sort of little stings and little moments in those episodes.
I forgot what episode we're on now.
We're part in the invasion, so we know it's
On the
invasion.
now, yeah.
So part 5, Lee.
So that's 2 more to go, is it?
Yeah, with this one I'm on more, yeah.
Yeah, crikey. Oh, it's
Oh no, well it's flying. Everybody's pressed 1 anyway. Yeah, people are pressing 1, so we can just get straight into the next one.
Yep. So
well,
let me
hold
just
on, because it's still the credits are still rolling on mine.
yeah, I need to get just 1 second anyway for mine.
I'll just let it load naturally, because if I try and rush it, it will
not like you.
yeah, it doesn't like me yet to begin with already. So like, come on. By the way, I've pulled up a couple of things in the chat there. There's a Web Planet comic book thing that someone put on his YouTube video. It looks quite interesting. I also put up the vinyl release of the Web Planet as well. There's a little trailer for that as well. And I've thrown up everybody's channel as well. So I hope that was the plan. Anyway, go ahead, do the countdown there. I think everybody's ready.
So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Here we go. Oh,
I didn't know that Unknown. Unknown said we could finish up with a sequel to this with the 5th Doctor.
Yeah, I've got problems loading this. It just won't load. I think it could be the internet.
Sometimes that site can be like that as well, Super John. Oh, see, there you go. There's the trip, Lee. There's Barbara tripping over.
Damn, I nearly got away with it.
Yeah. Well, she rarely does, to be fair. Like, because I sort of joke that was Susan's job.
Yeah. Digging the wishbone jewellery there.
Well, yeah, you could tell they were like, well, we'll look sci-fi.
I actually have this serial on DVD, but I just can't find it now. It's in amongst a load of DVDs.
Yeah, for me, it's like I don't even know what I've got anymore, and I'm on a Mac, and Macs don't have CD DVD players anymore, So
hardly any laptops.
that's upstairs, all the
DVDs.
DVD stuff. So I've got BritBox, so I just use that anyway. So it's fine. Rather fart-arsing about with DVDs and things.
She knocks off him and she puts it on her.
Well, they're going to get a pet soon, aren't they? I tell you what, the actress for Vicky does remind me of somebody, but I can't think of who. It's bugging me. Do you know, you just see in action, you think, oh God, you make me think of somebody else.
No, something's happened here.
I bet this must have been fun to do this scene when it's like, yep, you probably can't see where you're going anyway, mate, in that suit, and you're going to have to purposely follow Bill now, like, for the rest of these scenes. Oh, Matthew's not a fan of Vicky. I
think
that
Vicky's
annoying.
better later on when she's away from Ian and Barbara.
I didn't find her too annoying, to be fair. There's certainly been more annoying companions in Classic Who.
I think the actress Maureen O'Brien does Big Finish.
Well, I think Big Finish have got like probably half or even more of Classic companions now who are still with us. I mean, they've even got daughters, haven't they, now being their mums on Big Finish. That has got mixed reviews.
Mm.
And I like this angle, the sort of theme of a lost, almost like a lost civs like buildings from their past. Because it sort of just add more credence to the fact that they were the rulers, it was their planet, and they've been sort of ousted. Yeah, Disaster. I've heard a few people say Liz's daughter. Doesn't really work for them, with her trying to be Sarah Jane. But I've not listened, so I can't comment personally. But I've heard a few people say that.
By the way, the movement of these creatures were actually choreographed by a woman. Oh my God, there was no strong women in Doctor Who. It was a woman. By the way, I was checking up. So there was a lot of women working on Classic Who behind
they did. Yeah, they just didn't get credited sometimes.
You know, it's not the greatest story in the world, but there's enough there to keep you keep you going. You know what I mean? You wanna kind of see it to the end to see where it kind of goes, but it's like
It does
it is all
meander
on
a bit. Yeah, I'm probably going to be the odd one out because I honestly think this does need to be 6 parts. I think this could have been a 4-parter if they just trimmed some stuff down.
Oh, they dragged it out.
I really think this could have been a 4-parter.
Could really have been a 3-parter, to be honest.
Well,
If you
I
think
don't know
about
about 3. I think 4 would have been the right amount of episodes.
Yeah, the first episode is kind of, you don't know what the hell's going on in it. Then the second episode, it kind of picks up a little bit. Third episode, it kind of gets a bit dull again. Then it picks up again. I've noticed the kind of every second episode seems to pick up. This one's very good.
Yeah, the last 2. That's it's that middle bit, isn't it? It just sort of.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's William Hartnell's performances in this. I mean,
Yeah.
he started off as kind of dotty, and then he started to get serious,
Yeah.
and then it actually started to get a bit scary.
Oh yeah, there's good. The tonal shifts in it are brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, the budget just doesn't help it, but I mean, you've got to admire their effort, as someone said earlier on in the comments, which is absolutely true. You have to commend their effort with the small budget that they had to try create something as atmospheric as this. And
Oh yeah, that's the thing with classic. They always go full out. They never say, "Oh, we'll go a bit. We'll cut some corners, or we'll go a bit because we can't reach there."
You'll find that with
they tell it, don't they? And if it drags out, it drags out. But they're gonna tell it the way you want to tell it. Go ahead, Lee. Anyway, sorry, mate.
No, I was just going to say with it's well established with great barriers in the way of money or resources. You're forced to be more creative, and I think that shows not only dedication and love, but it shows you how the human imagination can engineer things from almost next to nothing, and do it well, fairly well. So when you have these limitations, you are really sort of funneled into being more creative, and I think that's something that when you're more affluent, and like if you look at a lot of CGI in modern films compared to practical effects in old films, there's generally seems to be a much more impetus on creating something unusual rather than sort of this amorphous blobs we get nowadays,
Yeah, and I think also the whole format of having so many episodes a week, or stories. Obviously, because it wouldn't be episodes a week. It'd be. I think we said how many episodes they did or stories they did. It meant that in classic, they could try one idea, and if it didn't work, it's just straight on to the next idea.
Yeah.
Usually completely different in classic.
Trial and error, but they weren't afraid to fail. That's they did go all out. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But still, they threw themselves into it. I admire that.
That's why, when you usually get if you had a time machine question, the more I watch a classic, I would love just to be able to go back, just to be on the set, I think.
Yeah.
And just to see how they did it, because it just comes across as such a hard-working, such a positive crew whenever you watch a classic episode. And that it'd be very much everybody mucking together, everybody doing their job and trying to help each other almost.
Well, it meant a lot to them all, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill not being sure about taking the role, and then when he took it, as soon as he took that role, it meant the world to him. As soon as he seen how popular it was, and it was popular with kids and parents. And, he kind of deserved it because his career, he was miscast. He was always typecast kind of thing before this, and he got to play this role where he wasn't just harsh. You know, he got to play the fool a little bit. He got to be the grandfather figure, and he became a what you call it. He became a role model for a lot of kids. I mean, if it didn't work with him, we wouldn't have got Troughton. Remember that. And if I hadn't
yeah.
worked with Troughton then, because when Troughton came in, they were at that time they were still a chance of the show being axed. But if he hadn't got it right and hit the ground running, well then it could have fell apart, and we mightn't even got as far as Pertwee.
Yeah, no, that's the thing with classic Doctors. You can tell there were certain runs that were safe just to watch them. Almost you can get that sense, and then there's other runs that when you watch it, you can tell they were sort of not safe, and they knew that any moment almost.
Yeah, the runs would be pulled from underneath them. Yeah. So they tried hard.
But unknown 289 sent me a picture of the Return to the Web Planet, which is the Big Finish audio drama with the Fifth Doctor and Nyssa returning to the Web Planet. So it does exist.
Wow. Yeah, but I don't really class, and I still don't class Big Finish as canon. So,
well, I think when it comes to Big Finish, you can cherry pick which is canon and which isn't. I think that any story that you like, you can say, well, that works for me, that's in, or that doesn't work for me, that's out.
Yeah,
that's enjoyable.
I do think though the Eighth Doctor stuff, because of Night of the Doctor, that's the closest Big Finish have ever come to being canon.
Yeah, that canonised a lot of
that basically canonised the Eighth Doctor. And I think Moffat did that on purpose to sort of say he's not had a TV run, and because some people don't class Big Finish as official, he almost, I think, did that on purpose to give the Eighth Doctor that bit of, I don't say authenticity, like to make him more legitimate almost. I don't know, because he already was a legitimate Doctor, but I think that was Moffat's little gift. Almost to McGann to say.
I agree with Matthew Pounder's comments there, though. Hartnell's stories were most I'm not even going to say the word. But they did have a variety of stories. You're right. Go ahead, Charlotte. Sorry, I just wanted to read that out, but I can't even read the second bleeding word, third word, fourth word, fifth word. I don't even know.
Yeah, I do think that Night of the Doctor, a lot of that was almost him gifting McGann a bit more legitimacy.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody to not buy Big Finish, but Big Finish's behaviour recently has left a lot to be desired. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Same.
They just don't care for the fans, and that's just it.
Well, they only care about a small section of the fans, or as Babette calls it, with fans like these who needs enemies, who are loudmouth, radicalized youths who act as the inquisitors of the modern era. A bunch of teenagers really should be told to shut the fuck up, sit down, and be quiet. Just who are you? You're not the authority of me or the authority of this fandom. You've come into this late in the day and dictate your terms.
Dictating what everybody should think, feel, and all this rubbish.
And the answer to that is no. I'm the adult. You're the child. Shut the fuck up.
That's it.
And it absolutely amazes me that the adults in the room are absolutely capitulating to this behavior, and it's not okay. Sorry,
but a lot of people trying to justify certain people's behavior out there is absolutely ridiculous, and then commenting on things you don't know all the facts about as well.
Yeah, it's not directly affected them in any particular way. The people involved.
So what would they know?
you know, they weren't there. Mm.
Exactly, you were.
And if there was a complaint, then I believe it was dealt with at the time. You know, that's it, done, dealt with. What's the?
Yeah.
Are people going to be held to account for every fucking thing they've ever done forever?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's so disingenuous. They've just got a taste of power, and they're wielding it. That's all it's about.
Yeah. Well, let them. We still have.
Yeah, soon there'll be nothing left, and they'll live in a
Doesn't matter.
miserable world with nothing left to
Doesn't matter.
entertain them because
Let them have their
they've got
miserable
everything
world.
cancelled. You know?
Let them have their miserable world.
And you
right?
know, all these people who protest and all this kind of stuff. It's like, just be sure that you don't live in a glass house. You know, I mean, no one will ever pass the purity test, no matter how hard you claim to be.
Yeah.
Oh, they think the insect's dead.
And they destroyed an ally. You know, that's the funny thing. They destroyed someone who was clearly on their side as well. So,
Feck it anyway. Don't care anymore.
So much for loyalty, huh?
They don't have loyalty. There's no loyalty
they
in
don't.
them anymore. I've noticed that. Well, I've come to realize there's no loyalty. You know, there's only certain people I can trust now. But you know, I'll say no more. I'm biting me tongue.
Yeah, well, I bit my tongue and I didn't bite it any longer.
You have to say something because you know I look. I'm just sick of responding to people that get involved in my situation and don't know the full details.
Yeah.
And as I said before a few months ago, and I'll say it again: shut the fuck up, mind your own business. Simple as that.
Quite right.
This is quite a lovely shot. Sort of. Well, I'm trying to work out where they would have taken that shot
the poster. They use a poster. See that shot that you're just talking about? They use that as a poster, still photograph when they're showing this episode off. It is a nice shot, you're right.
Yeah, because like usually it's such a static camera, especially in Bill's run. So it's quite a different kind of shot for this era if you think about it.
Oh, you can still get Noel Clark audios on Big Finish, by the way.
Yeah, but let's not talk about that stuff anymore.
No, that's another video for another time. Actually, I might bring a few people on for that because there's be plenty to say about the recent events. But yeah, we'll leave it at that now.
We've got Lee back. We don't want to scare him off again.
Here's the thing, man. I wonder how hot they were in these fucking costumes with the lights.
Oh God, they must have been boiling. I mean,
I remember. Go on.
I was gonna say, you hear people who are in Dalek things say how hot they are, and like that's at least metal. It's not like a costume with fur.
I remember they used to have to stay in those costumes as well. It was none of this, like, you know, because as Lee said, it was like to try get all of these scenes in one take if possible.
Right, I think at the end of this episode, my battery's getting near dead, so I'll give my score at the end of this one, so at least.
No problem. Well, we tried to go as fast as we could. We nearly got there.
Oh, no, I did well. Considering I'm thinking I'm going to last at least properly till the end of this episode, then I'll see how much longer the battery wants us to carry on going. But I'll give my score then, so then at least it's done.
But good news for everybody. Next week's story is only 4 parts.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
The Macra Terror is only 4 parts, if I'm correct in saying. It is, yeah. Better bleeding be. Jesus Christ, man. See, the older stories, it is going to be very hard. We said that. It's when you get to Troughton, it's a little bit... Oh, not Troughton. When you get to Pertwee, it's a little bit easier to pick your 4-parters.
Plus you've got 5 years to choose from as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and obviously Tom's got, because of his run, he's
7 years
to try and get the...
Yeah, you don't get many 6-parters. Well, not as many.
Yeah, it's like you can tell, like after Troughton, they sort of were like, it's a lot of work to do a 6-parter. Should we just only do them occasionally? They do like to touch hair, don't they? These things. Okay. Bit creepy.
You don't know the Zabby as I do.
Problem is they can't keep their hands to themselves.
Well, yes, we said that they're very enthusiastic jazz handers.
I nearly ended up in hospital, actually, guys. I just didn't make a big deal out of it. Yeah, I had a bad accident with me toe that involved.
Oh, I saw
yeah,
something.
I
Yeah.
saw
I
that.
heard something about that.
Yeah,
Was it that bad?
it was. Yeah, nearly
Christ.
got the toe nearly ripped off me. There's a
Oh,
hole. There's a hole underneath me toe.
ow,
Oh,
And
jeez.
the
ow,
top of where my
ow,
nail is ripped right across. Yep.
ouch.
Yep.
Sorry, man. I didn't realize it was.
No, I just mentioned that's why I wasn't. I've only been kind of because I don't want people thinking that I don't want to stream anymore. It's not that. It's just there's a lot of crap going on right now in this house with Ted us not being able to get to sleep. Then I had an accident. Cheryl's is kind of her allergies are playing up now, so she's in bed, and Ted is kind of acting up now because he's getting back to himself and he's barking all the time and because he's barking
Yeah.
all the time, then we're getting stressed because we got neighbours here that are cunts that will report you for anything. Like we have to try keep him down, so don't want to get reported. Now he's got his vet appointment, I think next week. Now I think it's the last one, but we should be okay then. That should be the last one, and then hopefully I get back to normality. But the reason why I've been just doing gaming streams is there's been a lot of drama going on. My name is
Yeah,
being
it's just a
mentioned,
nice
but I haven't
chill
got
thing for you.
involved. So I've just went and I've just done a bit of gaming because I just wanted to relax. But then in saying that, when I go and play FIFA, I'm fucking losing the plot. I am. Ask Daniel.
Yeah.
Losing the plot. I was top of the league. I was a few hours ago. Yeah. Now I'm in 10th place. I've lost 3 games in a row.
Yeah, but that's fun stress.
Yeah, true.
That's fun stress. We all do that. Like the shows, like I sort of joke to do
Yeah.
Dan with Line of Duty because I'm like, yeah, it stresses me out like no tomorrow sometimes, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's why I just
Like-
decided, that's why there was no Tarzan talks.
But you
Charlotte
did
went
one
to bed
during the
early as
week.
well, so I said, feck it, she's gone to bed early. I'll just relax and chill out. And I could see everybody look, it wasn't the night for it last night because I could see there was a lot of people getting into arguments. And what would have happened was they would have come onto my channel and rightly so complained about, but then we would have been complaining all night again. And that doesn't help. No, we need to kind of keep thinking positive and stuff. I'm just sick of all the drama. I get accused of doing all the drama, but it's not me. But I'm sick of it now. It needs to stop. Everybody just wants to enjoy themselves. And we've got one more, right? Because you said your battery's going to go shortly. We'll let you do your rating now because we're in the old titles there. So I'll get everybody to press 1 as well. When he's already pressed 1, Charlotte, go ahead. Give your rating there. Look.
Yeah, this is going to be a low one because there's good bits. Like I like Bill in this. He does have some fun things with his doctor. You sort of see the clever, the 10 steps ahead, but also like the laugh and a bit of the larking about he does at the beginning. So it's nice to see those two sides in his doctor. I like Ian and Barbara and generally, and they were good, but I think I didn't like that they were separated for a lot of this. I like them more as a pair.
Yeah,
I think they bounce off each other very well. So the fact that they were separated, and just like I said, the creatures, because they were beeping ants, it just didn't work for me as well. So I'm probably going to give this, if I'm being fair, because I know I've given other stories that I've had difficulty with lower scores. So I'm going to give it a 4 because that's only fair, really, because I can't give it more points because I sort of like this doctor more. I don't think that's fair.
No, okay,
So.
yeah, that's fair enough. Would you like to do the countdown actually? Because everybody's pressed 1.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Start the next episode anyway, and you can stay on for as long as you can. and if you
Yeah.
disappear, we know that you're gone. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'll pop up in the chat in 5 minutes afterwards.
Not a bother.
So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
There we go.
Do, 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 do.
Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, 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 woo. You know what? We should get together, lads and ladies, and do our own version and get Lee
Oh
then
no.
pump it up. Yeah, like a beatbox version.
Yeah.
No, I sound like a strangled cat when I try and do anything like that.
That thing looks a bit kind of rude to me.
It does. It does. I wasn't going to say that, but it looks, yeah.
What with all the
that doesn't
tentacles?
even that doesn't look too.
No, it doesn't look too right. That.
It just reminds. I'm not going to say, "See you dirty bastard." Man. No,
Oh, and Time Mechanic. You know what? No, it's not that episode. That's why it got a 4. If it was
Yes,
that
the old hair
episode,
dryer.
Nah, this is better than Orphan 55. Yeah, definitely.
It definitely is.
we remember there was a minus scale for those episodes, so
See, for me, I can see where Charlotte is coming from. But for me, I think the dialogue in this episode, more than what's going on in it, is fantastic. There's been some great dialogue during each.
yeah, there's some lovely moments.
Yeah. But it is kind of disjointed as a story, I have to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, this is the
Now
sometimes
I
in
don't
classic.
mind the giant dance or the wasps or whatever you want to call them, because like I mean I watched horror movies back in the day, you know, fucking zombie sharks and stuff like that. So stuff like this doesn't bother me. But I can get where it would bother someone like you, Charlotte, because now when we do aliens that don't look like ants or wasps or whatever, you know what I mean? So I get where you're coming from. Come along, come along.
Excuse me, sorry.
I mean, it must have been very hard to keep a straight face when
Oh
you know
God, yeah.
the silly moments and all that, and
Yeah.
the rude things and all that.
Well, and also like the bits earlier when they were like being shepherded by the ants.
Yeah.
Like not to have a smile must have been hard for them.
I thought they were bees, but apparently they're supposed to be moths. Yeah, I thought they were bees as well, because when you see the colour photographs, they're black and yellow, which is a bee's colour. So then I thought they were more wasps. But yeah.
You know, I've got a theory about that. What if they were carried aboard the TARDIS exterior? You know, and they were brought onto the planet, and they developed very quickly, and they were controlled by the Vortis, that's being.
Seriously, if I was on that set now, I'd be breaking my bollocks laughing. I'd be behind the camera. And thanks for the vote of confidence, Daniel. Look at what Daniel wrote. No one makes me miss Neil Lennon, LOL. Come here for a minute. I'm playing better football with Celtic, right? You know that. The game is ripping me off, man. Oh, we've lost Charlotte.
Oh,
There we go. So she'll be back in the chat. So that was Charlotte with us this week. Obviously, she's not here, so I'll do the channel shout out. Don't forget to subscribe to Daniel's channel and check out himself and his co-host as they branch out into new territory. So
what was
go
her
and check
score?
them out.
Rating? What race score? Rating?
Her rating was it 5 out of 10? Was it 5 or 5 out of 10? Oh, she said 4. She said 4.
Oh, 4.
She gave it a 4. She gave it a 4. Thank you, Daniel. But don't forget to check out Daniel's channel, where himself and Queen Charlotte will be branching into new territory, as I said. So go and check out the channel. I've thrown the channel up. I'm sure Daniel has thrown his channel up as well as everybody else's.
He is on the case.
I don't know what they're doing, but while you're whispering, they can hear you in the studio. Take a cover with your fake walls with toilet roll or something on them. If they're supposed to be webs, they're very bad. Ah, here, look at this thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a tank, isn't it, really?
Well, it looks like, I was going to say, if you took off the things that are hanging from it and turned it around the other way, it looks like a wok.
Yeah. But all that's carved out polystyrene and drapes.
I don't know. It looks like
Wood.
something else they've used. I don't know
Wood.
if it's no. I wouldn't say it would be too heavy, but
It's
probably
pretty
cast
good.
in plastic, I should imagine.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, I have to say, though. Oh, he's just falling on top of the poor fucker that's underneath that.
Oh,
He's dead. Seriously, man, that if that's how he died, that is sad and pathetic.
Yeah.
Sad and pathetic. We've got 20 people watching now. Please hit that like button. Also, share the stream if you have a heart of gold. You'll share the stream as well. Oh, may he rest in peace. The first Doctor Who annual was entirely based around this story, says Matthew Pounder. Oh, that prop fell down. The back, did you see that?
yeah, bless it.
Look, someone's trying to put it back up. You could see them behind.
You parasite.
Yeah, apparently some of the Target novels are going to be turned into audios as well.
Well, good.
Yeah, they seem to be going very heavily on the audio lately, don't they?
Mm.
So that was an
You're not
umbrella, right?
tied
So they
to
got an
games.
umbrella, they did, and then they just stuck shit all over it. I'm only messing, but it looks like an umbrella. Tell me why.
It just looks like they've had next to no money, and that's it. This is the best that they could try.
Let us rest. You must climb. Oh. Yes, it is all your fault. Nice to see a woman take responsibility for once.
Ouch. You're so in trouble, man.
Oh, who cares, man?
So in trouble. Yeah, well, that's true. You're used to it anyway.
Who cares? Yeah, even if I didn't say Aunt Jordan this stream at all, they'd pick something out. Get away. He's clearly on something metal because you can hear the metal.
Clunk, yeah. Undercover Trooper says, did you see the way that Zarbi put its antenna on her? Cancel it.
No. Jesus, stating the obvious twice there. Oh.
What the? Hello, TARDIS time. Good to see you.
Be strong, be strong. Oh, Doctor, we owe you a great deal.
Like little fleas, aren't they?
Yes, yes, quite so.
Quite so.
Yeah.
Should have told them to come along with you.
No, they hastily tried to fix that glass on the TARDIS. You can see it. It's kind of.
It's a bit drafty in here. Oh, that'd be the time vortex then.
I suppose it was to resemble a real police box, I suppose, when you see the windows open like that.
Amen.
I wonder if they're related to the Ood. That one looks like it's drunk. Maybe had too much to drink.
Goth moths.
And that's it.
That's it. There
Next
you go.
episode, The Lion.
Yeah, funnily enough, not called the Lion in terms of serial.
Yeah. I think that was a good one, the Lion, that episode. The Crusade.
Yep. Right, everybody. We might as well get straight into it. We'll get everybody, because we're coming up to 2 hours and 49. So let's see if we can finish bang on 3 hours. So if everybody in the chat can give us your rating and also why you gave it that rating. And we'll go with you first, real Super Doctor, if you'd like to give your rating and
Right.
brief review of the episode.
Right. I would give it a kind of 5 out of 10. It's got some good elements in it and some bad elements in it. Mainly because the first episode you really didn't know what was going on. There was a quite a mystery to it. But finally we discovered what these ants and the Minoptera was all about and the Zarbi was all about, and they were under this control, this hypnotic control, as it were. I think the sets are very poor, but back then they didn't have any money to kind of construct a prospective set, but they did the best as they could. The story is complete nonsense, as it were, but some good bits in it. But I'll just give it a 5. It's not really kind of my Doctor Who episode that I would like.
Right. Well, fantastic, Lee.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, it's just as a piece of Doctor Who history and the beautiful designs of the costumes and the sound design, which is amazing. You know, the limitations again in which they had to work with, forcing that kind of creative talent, which I appreciate. The story itself is a meandering nonsense. It's amateur hour, really. I mean, it's not Doctor Who as we really know it. I mean, it's bless them. You know, it felt like, oh, we got 6 episodes we've got to fill, and we've got these costumes in this one set, and it's not sort of going from place to place, and it's very confined, isn't it, to the studio, and it's kind of drags and drags and drags, and you got those noises.
Yeah.
I think the noises kind of just sort of lull you into this kind of hypnotic state.
I have to say the sound effects for me kind of draw you into this episode. Without them, I don't think it would work.
Well, I think that there is an element of that, but for me, it's I would like to have seen that sort of cut back, and maybe them communicating when they're meant to be communicating, rather than just sort of general noise. It kind of becomes a bit of a background noise. And I find it really hard to concentrate. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay, fantastic. Well, listen, the lads kind of said it, what I wanted to say, but I'm actually going to give this a 6 because I did like some of the dialogue in it. There was a couple of moments there where they were kind of telling the story, the history and stuff. I like those conversations. I like the way Hartnell did. He kind of did start off as a bit of a clown, and then as the episodes were going on, he did get a bit more serious as it got to the end. Music for me was bang on. The only thing that's a letdown in this for me is really the costumes and the fact that the first episode, Super John is right. I mean, you don't know what the hell you're watching when you watch the first episode. Then you kind of do make sense of it all as it goes on, but it's still not the greatest story. It's all over the place. But
Yeah.
it's not the worst one out there. So I'll give it a 6, man. I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to be generous and give it a 6 because there were elements of this I really did like. And it was funny in parts as well. And if you can make me laugh, then,
Yeah.
you're kind of there. So that's...
I would agree with the number 6 anyway.
it. Yeah. So we got a couple of 6s and a couple of 5s as well in the chat, which is good to see. And Charlotte says, so my 4 doesn't seem so mean now, at least. It wasn't a mean score. That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
I kind of agree with her in that.
Yeah,
and look, it's not. I don't wish to be mean about it. It's just I can't say it's an average episode, which is where I say it's C5. I think it's below average. So I have to be bearing in mind that
yeah, you don't have to explain your scores.
I do.
And ladies, you don't have to. That's what the beauty is. Everybody's going to have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So next week
I didn't hate it. Let's put it
yeah. So next week there is this. I actually do really enjoy this story. I have to be honest. That's happening next week. Macro Tower is one of my favorites. There's a moment in this episode actually that when Jodie Whittaker did her thing with Graham O'Brien, I used the scene in this as reference to the way the Doctor should treat a companion when they are seriously worried about something. And there's a scene, and when it comes up, I'll bring it up next week. But there's a lovely moment in this story, the Macro Tower, I have to say. And you've got choices if the panel is watching it. You can watch it in colour or black and white. I'm going to watch it in black and white because the Troughton era for me is black and white and should all even the anime. I'm glad to give you the option, but I prefer to watch them in black and white. I think they're much better. So Macro Tower next week. Tomorrow we have Victory of the Daleks, New Who. I don't know who's going to be on that panel, to be quite honest. It could end up just me and PD Rich. I don't even know if PD Rich can make it because he could be on the Cockney Spock's channel. So I don't know. I'm actually seriously considering knocking New Who on the head for a while till all of this drama kind of blows over, because there seems to be a loss of interest in it. Maybe just concentrate on the classic on Saturday and then just do something new on Sunday. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow. We'll do Victory of the Daleks tomorrow. We'll see who turns up, and then we'll see if everybody is game for next week's the episode that's on after it. And then if they are, then we'll continue it. But if not, we'll just knock it on the head for a while and we'll just concentrate on Classic Who. Because I can understand the look. I can understand it to a certain extent, but what I'd say to people is, well, this is Matt Smith's era. It's under Moffat. It was kind of a soft reboot. If you think about it that way, you can kind of not think about all of the other nonsense that's going on right now at the moment. But look, I get it. I do get it, actually, though. Because remember me after the Timeless Children, like I get it. I get it. And it's ridiculous. But look, don't want to get into that because I said I was going to finish. So I am going to finish. So I want to thank all my panelists for coming on. But before they do leave, obviously they're going to give their shout outs. But again, I will shout out Daniel's channel. Please subscribe to Daniel's channel. You can check me out on the Irish Geek for gaming streams. Again, when everything does get back to normal, I will be doing the stuff that I said I was going to be doing on the Irish Geek. I have watched Mortal Kombat and all of those other movies that I was supposed to watch. So I will be doing reviews as soon as possible. But right now, I can only really kind of concentrate on one channel. And the other one, I just do the gaming on it. Which, in fairness, though, I've been gaining subscribers on that channel with just gaming. So seems to people seem to enjoy it. So yeah, so that's not too bad. You get one or two in coming slagging me off, especially when I'm losing. But that's the way it is. Right. So that's it. So we'll be back tomorrow for New Who, Victory the Daleks, and then hopefully I do want to actually highlight the shit with John Barrowman. So I might do a pre-record on Monday. If anybody actually is interested in joining me for that, send me a DM, let me know. And we'll bring you on. There's a lot to get through. Big Finish have now decided not to release one of the audios that he was going to feature in. I think it is something that we need to talk about in great detail and find out whether you guys think it's right or wrong. We won't get into it now, but that's the whole point of it. See what you guys all think. I'm gonna rest me foot. Well, this is what I'm gonna do now. It goes into a basin of hot Dettol water, and I'll leave it soaking for about half an hour. And that kind of eases the pain a little bit. So yeah.
I remember there was one time that I had hurt my foot when I was coming in the door, and the toenail just peeled right off, and it was really painful.
I know.
And it took a wee while to kind of grow back, and I remember that it was difficult putting socks on. It was like you could actually feel the nippiness.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. It's bleeding horrible, man.
So I've been through that.
Never felt pain like it before in my life. I frightened poor Cheryl because I let out a mighty scream, and then when I seen the blood, then I just went, because I'm no good with blood.
Yeah,
especially my own blood. My face and all turned white. Fucking yeah, she didn't know how to react. Oh, the first thing she grabbed was kitchen paper, Dettol, whacked it on my foot, and I was like, well, yeah.
Oh jeez.
Tell you, it was nasty. Right, we're gonna go. No, we're not. I'm gonna give them their chance to do their shout outs. Or did they do them already? I don't know, but we let them do it again if they didn't. So we'll start with you, Lee. Let everybody know where they can find you on your social medias, and if you want to plug your YouTube channels as well.
Alright. Find me at Being Problem on the Twitch, and my other channel with my work on it is Audred Audiovisual. The single for Hill vs. Babyface that I made is available on iTunes, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, you name it, it's on there. And also, please do check out Captain Cockney Spock's channel. I may not be a regular contributor as much anymore because I've taken a bit of a breather from all the streaming, so I can focus on getting other shit done, which I've kind of allowed to sort of go by the wayside. But please do check his channel out. It's a great laugh. He's a great channel, really amusing, and he's very interactive with his audience, which is very good. So
yeah. Fantastic, brilliant, and it's great to see another channel out there being interactive with people in the chat. You don't get enough of that,
No.
so it's nice to see. It's nice to see.
All
Real,
chats are super.
that's it. That's it. Real super doctor. It's your
I
turn.
was going to ask you, Noel, do you want to do that race the Titanic on Monday, or are you too busy?
Well, if I get up early, I might do an early one actually, because I know you'll be up and you're
Yeah.
there during the day. So if I am up early, which I think I will be, we might do it in the afternoon because I do want
Yeah,
to do that John
that's good.
Barrowman stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, we are thinking of doing Raise the Titanic if anybody's interested. Um, Again, it's actually easy to find this
Yeah.
movie. You shouldn't have too many problems finding it. Um, the movie was obviously made a couple of years before they found Titanic. So in this movie, the Titanic basically went down in one piece. But of course, we all know what really happened. But this movie, it's an interesting movie. I mean, the plot is basic, right? It is basic, but to just see the underwater scenes and to see the Titanic come up through the water, and it is a good movie, even though it's a basic plot. It is a good movie, like it is. There's good. Alec McGuinness is in the movie.
Yeah.
It was one of his last roles, I think you could say. I think it was one of his. No, it wasn't actually. He was around a few more years, but you could see this was it after Star Wars or it was after Star Wars. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was after Star Wars. So it was after Star Wars. So yeah, he was on the ship. He took the flag. There's a nice little moment in the pub. It's actually weird because I only recently watched it. Cheryl was actually I had it on the TV there, because the site that I use you can put it on my TV, which was great, high definition as well. And Cheryl was actually sitting there. Now I had the earphones in, and she was sitting there looking at it. And she thought it looked impressive. I mean, for even back then it was. So if you want to join us for Raise the Titanic, and if you haven't even seen it, come and join us. So for people out there, Daniel, whoever doesn't want to do New Who, if you want to come on and join us for that movie stream, and I will be bringing back the movie streams because we are doing James Bond. Remember, so what I've decided to do is kind of narrow it down to one franchise. So we're going to do the James Bond franchise. We're going to start off with Doctor No. Obviously, there is that unofficial movie, which we will do as well. But I'm going to start off with Doctor No. We will be doing a James Bond. So if there's any James Bond fans, you could choose a movie. I'm not going to have the same panel for each movie. So whatever James Bond movie you're a fan of, and if you really want to be on that panel, let me know because we'll be doing them all. So we start off with Sean Connery, and we'll obviously work our way up. I think it was Sean Connery, wasn't it? Then it was George Lazenby because they couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was Roger Moore, then Timothy Dalton. Um, I love his Bonds. Them two Bond movies are actually my favorite out of the Bond franchise, and like they seem to be hated by most Bond fans, but I love the Dark Take in the Living Daylights and License to Kill. I love those movies. I think they're brilliant. I think Timothy Dalton was perfect as Bond. Uh, the thing about it is, I think they originally tried to get him. Uh, before George Lazenby, but they couldn't, and they went with George. And then, which his Bond is actually good on. Her Majesty's Secret Service is actually a good movie.
Yeah.
But I do like the Timothy Dalton ones. And look, I love Pierce Brosnan as well, even though they got a bit too cheesy. I mean, Die Another Day is probably the worst fucking James Bond movie ever made. Seriously. Seriously. I mean, he started off great. GoldenEye was brilliant. So I look forward to it. So if you're a James Bond fan, you're more than welcome to join us. Yeah, and if you've never been on a panel before, You're more than welcome. Just to ask you guys on the panel real quickly before we do finish up. Any of you guys Bond fans?
Well, I kind of watched the James Bond films when I was a kid and that, when they were on the television and that. I did like James Bond and I like to watch it, but I'll watch James Bond when it's on. But I'm not a big fan of James Bond,
Right.
but I like to watch it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
the
you're right.
same. Yeah,
Well,
I'm the same as that. I tend to love watching it. You know, I grew up loving, you know, the 80s Bond stuff because it's a good camp fun. You know,
Roger
it's just so
Moore,
over the top, silly.
Yeah.
And that for me was James Bond. You know,
Well,
the
that
newer
ruined
stuff
it for
is.
me. See, that ruined it for me because my dad was a purist when it came to Bond. So for him, it was always Sean Connery. And it's actually funny because on RT, the national broadcaster over here, or RTE2 as they call it, what happens is they always have a James Bond season where they show every movie. So they start off with Doctor No. So it's on every year. So we literally sit down. Listen, I've watched every single Sean Connery movie about now at this stage. I'm not exaggerating here. I've probably seen every single one of his movies about 25 times over the years.
Yeah.
That's how much we watched them. But when it came to Live and Let Die with Roger Moore is brilliant. From Russia with Love is brilliant. I like the non-cheesy stories that he does, the films that he's in, but the cheesy ones are just cars sawing in half and he's still fucking driving them and all of this.
Yeah, I know.
Like that kind of pissed me off. So, you know, when they did it in the Living Daylight on a Majesty Secret Service and then in the Living Daylights, it went back to a more serious Bond. And I know you prefer I know you do prefer the Roger Moore. You like the kind of comedy in it as well. And don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to a bit of comedy in the James Bond franchise, but I just think in some of the Roger Moore stories, they went a little bit.
No, I can understand. There's always going to be purists, you know, from the books and the mind.
They're very fucking James Bond fans, man.
Listen, I like a lot of the, you know, the serious Bond stuff as well. But for me, you know, it's just because I grew up watching. Watching the really camp, you know, like the Spy Love Me and all. You know, that's what I knew. You know, that's how I knew it. You know, it was.
And I do agree with you. I do agree with Unknown 289 when he says Casino Royale 2006 is the best one. I agree with you. I think that as a Bond movie is the perfect start.
It's also the original book, isn't it?
Yeah, but unfortunately they followed it up with Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they did follow that up with Spyfall, which I think is probably up there as well with Casino Royale, to be quite honest with you. I love that story. I love it. I love the fact that Bond has to go back to his roots. I love the fact that he goes back to Skyfall. He has to go back to his gaff. He has to face his past. That movie is just from the tone, from start to finish. Even the song by Adele, man, it won an Oscar. That tells you everything you need to fuck it. I was a Golden Globe. It doesn't matter what it was, but she won something for that song. And it's brilliant. Spectre was crap as well, yeah. But hey, listen,
one of the worst filming experiences of my life. That was horrible.
Yeah, I don't like. No, didn't like that one. I have to be honest.
Avon lives, Lord Thoth.
Yeah. Now I will say I do look. People are complaining about the latest one. I have to say, looking at the trailer, it does look like it's a good one. We have to see what kind of politic does get into it. But for anybody that said that, you know, James Bond, blah, blah, with politics. Well, the thing about it is the Daniel Craig one, I mean, you even look at James Bond as well. The character has slightly changed. It's not the same. He's a more vulnerable Bond, if you've noticed. Like, look how vulnerable he was in Casino Royale, right? And how he was tricked by a woman. And then in the second one, then he's basically mourning that woman, you know? So, yeah, the politic got into it, but the thing about it is that the writing was so good, the action was so good that you didn't really notice it. So I'm hoping it's the same with this latest one. But if it's in your face, it's finished. The Bond, Daniel Craig anyway has to go after this one.
Yeah.
We need to reboot the franchise now again, I believe, because I think it's gone. I know they tried to be clever. They tried to make this one continuous story. But I'm sorry, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Look at the old franchise. They weren't continuation stories. Yes, some of them had villains reappeared maybe, but other than that, they were separate stories. You know, that's what Bond needs to get back to doing. We don't need this continuous story arc. It doesn't work within a James Bond narrative, not the movies anyway. Might in a book, but definitely not the movies. Right, gonna leave it at that because I did say I was leaving in 3 hours and it's 12 minutes over. So good night, everybody. Want to thank everybody in the chat that took part and gave you a rating and all of that. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thanks, Problem Being, for coming on. Really appreciate it. I know you know, everybody's a bit pissed off right now at the moment, but hopefully now, next week, it'll be a better week for everybody. I hope. And thanks, Real Super Doctor. And I'll see you
No worries.
on Monday. And
Yeah.
Lee, if I get up early, I'll do the Titanic thing first. But then after that, then if you want to come on and do that pre-record with me, we talk the John Barrowman situation. You're more than welcome if you want to. Obviously, you don't.
You know, I just it's
You
like
probably
treading
don't.
water.
I'll do it. I'll get it anyway. You can come in and give me praise for all the ranting I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to go now, definitely. So here's the classic trailer. Good night, folks. We'll talk
night,
everyone.
tomorrow.